All right, I want to show you here. I learned something with the epimedium. Okay, so if you look back at the last episode, episode 16, you'll see I had a dying root there and a dying root here. Now I bought quart pot replacements and they should be here in another week or so. It's the end of August, so I think I can plant them now. All right, now the thing is, when I pulled them out, I realized what happened. Okay, so I planted these as roots, and of course I had no idea what I was doing. I should have soaked them in water first, and then I vastly underwatered them, all right, which I didn't know. Now you got to realize here that I added a couple of inches of compost on top of the soil here so these could grow on that, and I was surprised when I pulled out the root. It was smaller. It wasn't like bigger. It's been in there for a few months. It was actually smaller. And I realized, and not only that, it was completely surrounded by these, I recognize them now. The Linden has feathery roots that, you know, they grow up, okay? So when I put that topsoil there, I didn't put that for the Linden, it's a mature Linden. I put that for the plants, but what happened is, since I vastly underwatered them, they didn't grow, and the Linden roots came up and, you know, suffocated, it killed them, literally killed them, all right? Which it's done with several plants, that's happened before. Now, we didn't have a problem here because this was a quart pot. There was a root there, but it got peed on very early and it got killed. And so this was a root pot, and you know, it didn't have this problem. In other words, you know, there was just compost. It went into the compost before the other roots could form, and look at that, it's fantastic. So I think the other ones with the root pots, which are coming, I'll show you that, are going to be good. I did move the other, because I'm going to pull them in. I did move the one root that's left over here. Let's see what happens. All right, you know, it's a little ironic. I'm a college professor, and usually we dread the fall, right? Who wants the fall? That's the start of classes. But from the gardening perspective, I've really been looking forward to the fall, so it's finally cool enough so I can fill in some of these empty spots, all right? And I had told you about the epimedium, so I just got 3. I had a slight change of plan. I decided to leave this corner open there. Actually, in that corner, I'm gonna go for, I think I'm gonna go for a Helleborus Molly's White. Mainly because it's a really tough plant. And you know, you need something tough in that corner or it's gonna get its ass kicked, all right? Especially ever since I saw those flowers down the street, the Helleborus down the street, they're really tough, so I'm impressed. All right, so here's the ones I got. That's the one that's been going on for a while. Here's a new one, but we had some problems. Now it's pretty big, and this is okay. I put a little support on the stem. You can see some of the leaves down here are so-so. Unfortunately here, I was going to get a tie for it, and the wind was blowing, and it just broke on that stem. I was like, damn it. I went upstairs, and it said, if you can prop it up, and it'll maybe recover. So we'll see what happened. Okay, ditto on the one next to it here, all right? Unfortunately, when this came in the box, it was bent over. I was like, ah, son of a... And you can see here, I put a little tape around where the break was, and I read online, and it said, yeah, that can actually heal, possibly. So we're gonna see. So that's the second one. The baby root is still here. That's the little root I had. Now, the third one didn't look that hot, so I ended up putting it back here. I was debating what to do, donate it to a neighbor, but I put it back here. You can see almost every leaf is brown. This one didn't look that hot. The stem didn't break, but I thought, you know what, I got a little space in this corner. I'll put it there and I'll see what happens. Okay, so finally we got all the epimediums in. I mean, my goal was to create a row, and I still think that was a good idea. It's just that for the corner I want something really tough. That's why I'm going for the hellebore. All right, and I think that's about it. Maybe I'll give you an update, but that's about it for now. All right, so it's end of August. Just a quick review. Here's the rear row. You know, they're still hanging in there, even though I do worry about these. I hope they're tough enough to make it. Let's see. Here's the, I think the toad lily is doing pretty good on this side at least, and so is the astilbe. All right, I'm looking forward to that spot. That's going to be the Helleborus Molly's White. Now here's the other Helleborus. Looks pretty good. I think we're okay. There's the geranium. All right, it's hanging in there. Here's the epimediums I just planted. I'm really hoping these come in, especially these two. They have little problems. Here's the other hellebores, and there's the one from root. That's the epimedium from root. Here's the geranium, the other one. I think it's okay. Let's see. Here I have to say this is still is worrying me. All right, it just doesn't look that hot. I don't know. And also on the toad lily over here, I think we're okay. Man, this one's got a lot of sprouts coming in. I hope that's not because it's starving for light, but let's see. And then we have the new epi in there, and the euchera. Been hanging in there. I hope it's all right. So this is where we're at. I'm gonna put the foam flower here when that comes, and then I'm gonna do the other corner, and that's it. Then it's kind of exciting because I'm just watching to see how things do and try to make it to November.